Om Swastiastu.
Om Swastiastu.
How are you today, Bapak Made
Fine,
Wijaya?
thank you. Happy.
Our presentation today is about an important ceremony at Pura Jagatnatha Ketewel near Sanur. So, Pak Made Wijaya, can you explain to me what is the important ceremony, why this ceremony is held in Ketewel near Sanur?
Ketewel is a big village, a big traditional village, which has, since the start of tourism, fed Sanur with all of its carpenters, many of its hotel workers, and most recently the great gardeners that I've had the pleasure to work with. I've often gone to Ketewel village to study the architecture for my book, Architecture of Bali, and been amazed at the beautiful ceremonies in these two main temples. The Pyogan Agung, which is a sort of 12th century temple that runs along the ancient temple lines with the priest's house, a part of the temple. In other villages in Bali you have the kings and you have the Brahmins, but in Ketewel it really is a more egalitarian type village with one community of Devas that sort of run the show. Devas being the junior caste of Kshatriyas, warrior princes. The other main temple, and that's the subject of today's presentation, is Jagatnatha, the center of the world temple. Really a very beautiful temple with an upper terrace of merus used to have lovely blue and white Chinese plates from the turn of the 18th, 19th century set into the white plaster stucco walls, now tragically been overly renovated with that black andesite stone, so it looks a little bit like large ATMs. We must preserve, keep the happy in the Hindu in Bali, keep that Majapahit Javanese classical look, keep all of the stonemasons active in the art of making a temple look feminine. Feminine is a part of Balinese Hinduism. It's that whimsy, that fantasy of Hindu in Bali is Hindu Bhairava. Bhairava is spooky. Spooky has that other aspect of the humoresque, the lovely finials, the fieriness, the femininity. That goes when you make everything black andesite. And we see a lot of temples now. The tourists will see as they travel around Bali, a lot of those black andesite temples. Write letters saying, we miss the old red brick Majapahit temples of Bali.
And then in this ritual, there is a priest is wearing an ancient costumes and with his sticks, and also he's carving something on the surface of the yellow coconut. Can you explain about this, Pak Made?
The ceremony took about 3 months to get together. It involved the reconsecration of the main shrines, the rebuilding, the re-roofing. The god is in the roof of a temple. And the climax on the third day was the Menanam Padagingan, which is usually done by the local high priest or prince. Now the unusual thing about this ceremony is that only last year the royal palace of Ubud decided by acclamation to take over as the custodian of this village's main temple. Now Puri Sarin in Ubud has a lot of clout in the Balinese ceremonial community. They're a very wealthy palace. They've rebuilt many of the great Hindu temples in Java and encouraged a resurgence in Hinduism in Java. And in Bali they've been heavily involved with Pasaki and with Pura Batu, so now they're turning their eye on the other lesser greater temples. So they had a role in the 3 days of events. They were the ones who planted the organs back in the shrine, the Menanam Padagingan. The high priests who arrive on that first day, carrying their sticks, they do all of the Shivaite ritual. The princes really meaning more Vishnuwa. Vishnu being Krishna, being the king. You also have Shiva being the Pandita, the Padana, the Guru. So, the Padana is the high priest who are writing the little aksara on the yellow coconut, yellow being Shiva, being more holy, which is going to be used to put special little offerings and things in, because this is what's called a Karya Agung. It's a really, really big ceremony. We have birthdays, temples have Odalan Patirtaan. It's the same sort of thing. When we have a birthday, we play a bit of gamelan on the tape recorder. That's aging. At temples, they have wali, the word Bali coming from wali, which means offering. The word wali surviving in Bali today to mean sacred dances within a temple. So in this presentation you will see a very rare Ratu Dadari, it's a Sangyang dance, trance dance by the young girls, twins. You will see the topping Siddhakari, which is held at the Siddhakari, meaning the end of the work. It's a mass dance, a topping, which is held at the end of major ceremonies, just to make up for any little mistakes that may have happened. And you'll see a beautiful Rajang Dewa done by the young Vestal virgins from the village, who wear the woven sort of banana and coconut leaf hats, doing the ancient Rajang, which comes from Java, of course.
Why these girls are wearing topeng when they dance of Ratu Dadari dance?
Well, the Ratu Dadari dance, the Ratu Dadari is the name given the masks which are held in the main Pyogan Agung temple in the special vault. They're brought out the night of the Audalan and on other special occasions. This was unique, this presentation, this ceremony, because you'll see them dancing in the daytime, something that I've never seen before. Usually they come out late at night, and it's very spooky because the girls are twins. They're almost like priestesses, but they're sort of 10 years old. They're very poised. They have a lady in waiting who prays with them. It's all arranged by juniors. Their parents, their uncles stand around just in case anything goes wrong. It never does. And they dance this extraordinary, you'll see when they put the masks on, it's a very holy thing. They've got to cover the mask with cloth, then the lady in waiting takes the cloth off, and they have the little bit of banana leaf that they sort of wafting the offerings with and as they dance. And the masks themselves look very ancient, like Cirebon, West Javanese masks.
I see. And then why the girls should wearing the mask? And I see that the mask is actually not originally from Bali, isn't it?
Well, they probably are from Bali, but they're probably copies of ancient masks that were born here by the priests who brought Hindu to Bali many, many centuries ago. The origins are lost in the mists of time, but the Sangyang choir for all the trance dances in Bali is a very ancient sound, like the sounds of the choirs in New Zealand and the Pacific. That sort of, you'll hear it in the courts of Surakarta in Solo, that sort of chanting. The Ketchak is the male choir, chat 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 chat, and the girls are going. So you imagine that something like the Ratu Dadari coming from the Sangyan is something quite ancient. So it are these twin girls, the idea of the cult of the fertility of the Venus, of the Dewi Sri, the rice goddess perhaps. Maybe it was held originally at the time of harvest, this dance, and it's now worked its way into the temple.
Now the last ritual is Nanam Pedagingan. So Pak Made, please explain to me what is Nanam Pedagingan.
Well, the Nanam Pedagingan ritual is when they bring the shrines back to life. They've been deconsecrated, demolished, rebuilt, and now they have to have their organs put back in. And that's a little sort of a bowl, and inside there's a bit of gold and a ruby and a bit of bronze and a bit of iron. Now it's very important that one requests a member of the royal family or a high priest to do this ritual. Accompanying this ritual, there are various animal sacrifices. You'll see incredible things happening with ducks, pigs and dogs. There are dances like the topping dance, the topping Siddhakariya. There are beautiful gamelan performances. There's many invitees who come to witness. It's a big, big garden party because every temple is a beautiful garden. That's the main difference between India and Bali. In India, it's all gone inside. So you're in these sort of smelly caves. But in Bali, every temple is a beautiful garden.
And why there is a cockfighting in the temple?
Well, you will notice that at one moment you saw a cockfight. Now that traditionally comes from a temple ceremony, which is called tabura. It's the rain of the blood. You need to make the blood offering to the ground spirits. I think every religion has this. You have the red wine, the blood of Christ in Christianity. You have all sorts of blood ceremonies, the Hari Rayas, Korban, the goat of Islam. So this is in Hindu. You have the blood sacrifices now being outlawed in South India, by the way.
It is very interesting presentation from you, Pak Made. Thank you very much. See you in the next presentation.
Om Santi 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 Om.
Well, viewers, that's all our interview with the famous stranger in paradise, or Bapak Made Wijaya, the cultural advisor from Bali. I hope you enjoy. I'm Nadia Happy from TVRI Report. See you next time, and please enjoy my beautiful country.